This is Aaron Golub, host of the Blind Ambition podcast. We'll be bringing you world-class leaders, entrepreneurs, and athletes, people who have overcome obstacles and used their ambition to create enormous success in their lives. If you enjoy this podcast, if you get anything out of it, the only thing I'll ever ask is that you subscribe, rate, and review. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Aaron Golub, and today I'm here with a former teammate of mine, Nico Marley. Nico, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, AG. How's everything?
Dude, it's good. It's good. How's everything for you in California?
It's good, slow, with all this stuff going on. But, we're grateful, we're blessed. Everything's good. Everybody's healthy. So nothing to complain about.
Absolutely, man. So, I want to talk to you and learn a little bit about your journey growing up, how you became such an amazing football player that you were. Talk a little bit about football and then kind of what you're doing now with everything you have going on. So kind of what led you to Tulane, what led you to the game of football, and how did that become one of your first loves?
I started playing football like 8th grade. My dad played football, obviously, in the 90s. He played at the U with like Ray Lewis, Warren Sapp. And, he never pushed it on me. We didn't live in the same house, so he wasn't really pushing football on me, even when I would go visit him or he'd come visit me. And then one summer, just spend the summer with him training. And then I went home, and my cousin Sean was like, man, you should play football. So that kind of started that little journey there. Then I went on. I played Optimist a year, JV, 9th grade, and then the rest was history.
And then how'd you develop enough to end up at Tulane?
A lot of mistakes. I always had a nose for the ball. I was always a lion on the field, so that was always there. And then it was just about learning the game. Learning. I couldn't be bigger than everybody. Just because of my body and genetics. But I was able to be smarter. I was able to. I could think better. I could learn quicker. I could see things faster. So using that, I was able to elevate my game because I would just kind of learn smarter than like quicker than everybody and understand the game. So once I understand the game, everything else was easy. All the physical attributes were like, I look stronger, I look faster. I look like I hit harder. It was more so just knowing the game and understanding how somebody's gonna come attack you or how the offense is gonna try to attack your defense. How game plans work, schemes, and what have you. So then through that, I had a successful high school career. I had a couple offers. I think Navy offered me. I did not want to go into the armed forces. I respect everybody that does that, but I don't think that was necessarily my call. And then a couple D1 AA schools, and then it was Tulane. So I wanted the U to offer me. I got like the MVP at their camp. Still no offer. So my dad was like, let's just go with Tulane. Like fuck it, let's go. He called me one day. I was playing, I don't know, I think I was playing Madden or some shit. He was like, fuck it, we going to Tulane. I said, all right, cool, I'm going to call coach right now and commit. I was going to commit anyway eventually.
Yeah.
But that's really what sparked that.
No, absolutely. And that kind of hard work developed. You became a great player. I think you were all conference several years and had a tremendous record.
Yeah. First year I was freshman of the year. I think it was in Conference USA. Sophomore year, I think I got like honorable mention for all conference. And then my last 2 years I was first team all conference.
That's awesome.
So yeah, college was cool.
And then I know you had kind of a brief stint in the NFL, with the Redskins. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that went and what eventually led you to say, I'm not going to continue to pursue football?
Yeah, the Redskins, it was fun. I didn't get drafted. They didn't sign me as a free agent either. They invited me to the rookie camp, the Saints, and Arizona, I think. And then, it was just like, all right, I had to choose which rookie camp I wanted to go to. The only reason I went to D.C. was because my cousin was living in D.C. at the time. So I was like, shit, whatever. If I'm going to go there for the weekend, at least I won't be alone. So I went over there, did the rookie camp, had a great weekend. They ended up not calling me back. No, they didn't end up not letting me stay or not making me stay. So I went back home. Like I was supposed to leave the night after, or the day after, and I was like, whatever. I just bought my ticket to leave that night after. Obviously they weren't gonna keep me. So I went back to Miami. That was like Saturday, Sunday night. I went to live. My cousins, everybody just had a great time. Then I get a call and like 7 a.m. I was like really tired because I stayed up all night. And then it was like from Washington. So I picked up and he's like, yo, we're going to sign you. So I was like, shit. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, can you leave at 12 o'clock? And I was like, fuck, I need rest. I'm like, nah, I can't leave at 12 right now. And he's like, well, he's kind of like confused why I'm not. He's like, you're not excited? I was like, yeah, I'm excited. Can I leave a little later? So then he ended up getting the flight 8. And then, I went home to my mom, called, my pops, said I was happy. So I ended up over there. And then, so that was a fun time.
And what kind of caused you to say, I'm going to step away from football and pursue something else?
It was after I got cut, it was like a crossroads. It was, it's kind of, I had to take some time with me, right? And kind of, I felt like I did what I had to do on the field. I did everything I needed to do. I wasn't satisfied, but I was more like, when you reach that point, you kind of had that understanding with yourself. Like, you did all you can, right? You left it all on the field. I didn't need anything more from the game. Obviously, the game didn't need anything more from me. So I got to that understanding, pretty, like within a few days. I was cool, normal in the house. I actually went to New York to go. I was just hanging out with my dad by the times. And it was like fashion week, so we was just going out. We was having a good time, and I just came to the understanding that I left it all on the field, and I was good with where I was at. And and I had the CFL called me, Toronto called me a few times and wanted me to come up. I really didn't want to do that. It was like 50,000 or something a year, and I told them like I'd rather go work.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that, and then just it was kind of the tougher part was telling my family. And I told them that they were supporting me still. Shit, we love you. They didn't even like seeing me play football anyway. Like my mom was like, oh, thank God, and then all my cousins. My dad was like, you sure? And when we talking, he was like, whatever you want to do. So once that happened, when that conversation happened with everybody, it was easy for me. I was like, all right, I'm done. And that was
man.
that.
And, talk a little bit about, what you're doing now with Lion X and really how that got started. I know, the name being a lion is a huge, huge thing for you. And, first I'd love to ask you a little bit about that. And what does being a lion mean to you? And then kind of let's go into your company now.
Yeah. So a lion to me, right, it's a mentality, right? It's not necessarily being aggressive. It's not necessarily, it's not the raw. On the field, it was that, on the field, it had to be a lion, like almost literally. But it's more that figurative thing, right? So what I say is, I'm the king of my own jungle, and if it was a woman, like my mother, per se, she's the queen of her own jungle, where, she controls everything that she can control. She wakes up and a lion is a lion every day. So when a lion wake up, he has to eat, right? So whatever that is to you, right? Right now, mine is Lion X, my company, right? Every day I have to make sure that my company is doing well and I'm doing things necessary. So I wake up and I'm a lion and I have to eat in that aspect. Somebody that's raising children, their version of eating is to raise their children properly, feed them the right knowledge, feed them the right information, making sure that they eat. People got to go to work, that's their version of eating. So that's kind of the ideal of being a lion, and that's the lion order, where we all, it's unity, it's one with the earth, one with everything. So that's the lion order mindset, where there's none that could stop us. There's nothing that can come in our way because we already, it's what we have to do. If a lion doesn't eat that day, he starves, right?
Yeah.
So we make sure we eat, and whatever version of that is, that's what we do.
That's awesome. And how'd you kind of talk a little bit about your company? I mean, I love how that lion is in the name of your company, but talk a little bit about it. I've heard great things. I haven't yet had a chance to try the product. I definitely would like to in the near future, but talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Lion X. So that came about obviously in my football background. I wanted to still be in touch with that side of my life and that part of it. So I wanted to do something where I could give back to athletes, right? And me being somebody that used CBD while I was playing for my aches and pains, I wanted to be able to give that to people. And then also the ideas of my family, right? My grandfather said a long time ago, even before it was trendy, that herb is the healing of a nation. So we've been using herb as medicine in my family for my whole life, my father's whole life. Even coming up, seeing if my brothers would smoke or my sisters, my dad would always be like, listen, this is medicine. Even before we were smoking, he would explain to them that this is why he's smoking. So being able to put those two worlds together was essentially the perfect storm for me. And that's when Lion X comes, right? And my father always talks about Lion Order. He used to be telling me about Lion Order all my whole growing up. He used to tell Ray Lewis, Warren Sapp, the LeVar Arringtons, Lion Order, when they would call him before the game, because he needed to explain that mindset to them. He needed to explain why they have to go out and play like a lion. So Lion Order developed. And with that, Ray brought that to Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps mentions it after he wins the last Olympics. He tells him about the Lion Order mentality. So me being the next generation of that, that's where the X come in.
Yeah, no,
your Lion X.
That makes sense. And how has it been building your business during this time? I mean, I know everything with quarantine and what's going on with the pandemic, I'm sure has been hard, but how's it been, being a young entrepreneur starting out right now?
Yeah, it's been a little, it's been a road, right? Because we launched in the middle of the pandemic. I actually pushed it back about 2-3 weeks. Actually almost a month I pushed back the launch. April 22nd, Earth Day was supposed to be like a launch party, kind of the official launch. We were supposed to launch the website and everything a month before, but with everything that was going on, I kind of sat back and, I kind of got scared. I got cold feet. So I went to Miami, to go talk to my dad, talk to my mom, just talk to people, people that I trusted that give me good advice. And, they were like, look, you should do it. And being able to put out a product that actually helps people in this time, what better time than now? Obviously, big stores are closed, so it's tough to get in stores and all that. But what better time than now? You can help people, heal their body and, help their body, become better and reach the best version of themselves, as we say.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. And kind of one thing that I know you touched on a little bit, but I want to kind of try and dig into a little bit is, your father had a lot of great success with football in life, and your grandfather had, he's a legend, and you've been very successful. And so my question to you is, you've been successful and you're going to continue to grow on that. I know, your dedication, I've seen it through playing football, your work ethic. How did having people in your life like your father and your grandfather's legacy, did that loom over you, or did that drive you to say, I'm going to be as good, or I'm going to be better, I'm going to achieve more? What has that done for you, mentally? Because I'm sure some people would take that and say, oh, I don't need to accomplish anything, but you've done the opposite. You've taken that and it's looked like it's driven you to succeed.
Yeah. I like to, obviously it's looking up to that is, it gets a little, it's not about reaching what they reach, right? It's kind of about just making my own legend, and whatever that is, if that's helping one person, that's helping 20 people, that's helping 100 people, that's kind of my legend, right? So I'm not necessarily trying to be the next Bob or the next Roe, I'm just Nico. And, and my mother, she's great as well, her father is also uber successful, Haitian Lebanese man. My mom, she hustle every day. So I get it from all sides, right? So it's almost, I'd be doing myself a disservice and everybody, I'd be doing everybody that didn't have any black man that didn't have the opportunity to start where I started, I'd be doing them a disservice by not, using my resources to become better so that my children can have that next step. And I can be able to help some other people that didn't necessarily have these resources and be able to have a leg up on some other people in that aspect of it.
No,
I'd
I
be doing
love
them a
that.
disservice.
I love that because I feel like a lot of people, when they have the resources, they don't have that drive to succeed. But, you still have that drive. You had that legacy from your mom, your dad, your grandparents, and your family. You still have that drive, and that's inspirational.
Yeah, but we don't judge anybody. Everybody, they do their own thing. If they don't feel like they have to do anything, that might be what they like to do. Relaxing or chilling. So it's not a fault to anybody. But me personally, I'd rather use this as as motivation for people to want their kids to have that same opportunities that I had, and my kids have even more opportunities than I had.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree, and that's awesome. And anything else kind of you want to say about your company, where people can find you online? Just promote yourself a little bit. Where can people find your products?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at LionX Wellness, and you visit our website. We have a nice aesthetic. I like it. It took us a long time to get it right, but I think we got it right. LionXWellness.com. If you're interested in any CBD, we have some merch coming shortly. A couple other cool things to come in very, very soon. I don't want to say it yet, but just stay tuned.
Sounds good. Well, look, thank you so much for being here today. And everyone go check out LionX on Instagram, their website, and I'm sure it's a phenomenal product. I'm about to go get some myself, so everyone else should as well.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed it at all, if you got one thing out of it, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you.